Acting Director of National Intelligence, Richard Grenell, had the courage to release the unmasking information about General Flynn. There were over 24 Obama officials on 49 occasions that unmasked General Flynn and his interactions. Unconstitutional, to say the least. Also criminal. When you look at the unmasking data, there were no unmasking events of General Flynn between December 28th and January 5th. Well, why is that important, Dave? Here's why. Because the calls between General Flynn and the Russian ambassador Kislyak that Obama was talking about started on December 29th and went through December 31st, 2016. So wait. So how did Obama know about the calls and the contents of those calls on the morning of January 5th when he had this meeting at the White House? And in fact, it's been documented he knew about it as early as January 3rd. If those calls were not unmasked that General Flynn made, how did Obama know about it? Well, we know from Yates' transcript released by the government's motion to dismiss, and the transcript was originally a classified document, and the government's motion to dismiss was presented to the court on May 4th, 2020. Obama spoke about the calls at the White House on January 5th, and the evidence shows that he was also aware of it as early as January 3rd. Well, Sally Yates stated that she was, quote, shocked and could not concentrate on the remainder of the conversation, end quote. Well, again, why? She's not a Girl Scout, she's a swamp rat. In addition, how did Clapper, the director of national intelligence, know about the calls and carry on a conversation that Comey and McCabe testified to that, Clapper was talking about those phone calls before the January 5th meeting at the White House? Well, but remember, no unmaskings had been done at the times the calls were made. And Comey and McCabe have testified that, Clapper told Obama about it before the January 5th meeting. And Clapper said that, I didn't tell Obama about that. Okay, folks, somebody's lying. More like, how about all of them are lying? We also know that Obama's chief of staff did an unmasking later in the day on January 5th. So, first of all, since when does the chief of staff of the president have the ability to unmask someone? There are only a select group of people that can unmask other individuals. When you look at this cast of characters who was unmasking people that Grenell released, it's like, wait a minute, the ambassador to Turkey's unmasking? What? The chief of staff of Obama? What? No. There's a whole lot of criminal activity going on. But you see, that unmasking was covered on January 5th by Obama's chief of staff. Because when Obama blurted this stuff out about he knew the contents of that phone call and described them, Yates panicked. As an attorney at the National Security Division of the Department of Justice who's been trying to hide this stuff, he said, wait a minute. He's not supposed to know about that. We got problems. If it ever comes to light what was discussed at this January 5th, 2017 meeting, we don't think it will, but if it ever does, we're all going to jail. Because Obama's talking about it's documented information that was gleaned from an illegal surveillance platform. Because it couldn't have been through the NSA because it was never unmasked. So what did Yates do? Goes to his chief of staff. Says, But Donahue, hey, go do an unmasking of Flynn today, right now. Yeah. She realized the gaping hole in the story if it was ever come to light or investigated. The key point, none of these scum had access to NSA unmasking data on the calls because no unmaskings occurred between December 28th and January 5th. And remember, when unmasking is asked for, it just doesn't happen. It has to go through a whole series. Admiral Rogers has described this, a whole series of checks and balances before that information comes to light, let alone the person's name. And let's add, you remember the scum, the criminal scum at the FBI? There are a ton of them, but Strzok and Page. Let's add the scum Strzok and Page to the mix. On January 4th, Strzok contacts Pienka, the other guy who interviewed Flynn, who wrote all the notes. And he tells Pienka, quote, "Don't close Razor," end quote. Razor was the code name given to General Flynn. Well, it seems to me the reason why he made that call is because Comey, McCabe, Brennan, or Clapper, or all of the above, informed Strzok, hey, don't close that case. Don't close that case. Because how could Strzok have told Pienka to do that based on the calls if there were no unmaskings between December 28th and January 5th unless they had that information from another source? And go back to Yates. So why was that swamp rat shocked and could barely concentrate on what Obama said? As she says, that's what was in the documents that were released by the government on January 5th of 2017. The reason is because Yates knew no unmaskings had been done between December 28th and January 5th on the NSA platform. And the only way Obama could have that information on the Flynn-Kislyak phone calls is through the use of an illegal surveillance system outside of the NSA platform. Hence the need for the Chief of Staff to request an unmasking to cover for the fact that the NSA unmasking data would not have been available at the time of that meeting in the White House on January 5th, 2017. What's the bottom line on this? Obama, Brennan, Clapper, Comey, and McCabe learned of the phone calls not through unmaskings of the NSA surveillance, because those calls weren't unmasked. And Horowitz stated in his own report that there was no incidental pickup of General Flynn through the NSA data. He said that in the IG report. And what if Brennan and Clapper and Obama also had a backup way of monitoring? They took that illegal surveillance platform that they were using. Let's just give a hypothetical. They took that illegal surveillance platform that they had commandeered. They made it illegal. The hammer actually was initially devised as a legal means of monitoring terrorists on foreign lands. And it was done so effectively since 2003. But it was in February 2009 when Brennan, Clapper, and Obama made it their own and turned it on their political rivals and American citizens. And being good totalitarian thugs, let's just ask the question, could they have shared that platform with similar totalitarian thugs? Let's say in the British intelligence world, the GCHQ, for example, said, hey, we got this platform. Ooh. And guess what? You don't leave any footprints when you go on it. And you know what? You can get all kinds of information. And no one ever knows the difference. Could they have actually shared that platform with the totalitarian thugs in British intelligence? GCHQ? Maybe. Maybe that explains why right after Donald Trump was inaugurated, the head of GCHQ all of a sudden took a powder. Resigned. People were shocked in Britain. He resigned. Spend more time with his family. That guy just wanted to get out of Dodge because he knew what was coming. Bottom line. Obama, Clapper, Brennan, Comey, and McCabe learned of the calls not through unmaskings of the NSA surveillance, because there were no unmaskings. They learned of the calls from a different illegal operation, such as a parallel platform. Hammer time. This is the illegal action, folks, that sends all of them to prison. The illegal surveillance on a privatized surveillance platform. I want to tell you, Admiral Ace Lyons passed in December of 2018. And he was very good friends with General Tom McInerney. And Tom has presented information that when he last spoke to Ace, the day before he died, he went to see Ace. Ace, Admiral Lyons, told General McInerney repetitively that, and had said before, but it wanted to finalize things, that the key to the coup was the illegal surveillance. The illegal surveillance done through the hammer. I had the opportunity to know Admiral Lyons. He was on my show about 5-6 weeks before he died. He was scheduled to be on it. He came on at usually 6-week intervals. He was scheduled to be on it actually the week he died. The last interaction I had with Admiral Lyons, he told me that exposure and continued focus on the illegal surveillance platforms, the parallel platforms, and the hammer was the key to taking down the coup and the freedom for General Flynn. Mary Fanning published that article that we did the YouTube on last Friday. And on Saturday morning, Andrew McCarthy, a very well-known prosecutor, I'm sure you've seen him on TV, stepped to the plate. The story, the headline of the story he wrote, Unmasking. The real story is when Flynn was not masked in the first place. This is supportive of what Mary Fanning wrote, and it's supportive of the documents that have been presented. Here's what I want to read, brief parts of his presentation, because it was quite good. Was his call with Kislyak recorded by a different agency than the FBI? Now remember, these parallel platforms were operated by the CIA. Yeah. Despite May 13th, 2020's blockbuster news about the dozens of Obama administration officials who unmasked then incoming Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, there remains a gaping hole in the story. What swamp rat Sally Yates was so afraid of. Where is the record showing who unmasked Flynn in connection with his faithful conversation with Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak? There isn't one. I suspect that's because General Flynn's identity was not masked in the first place. Instead, his December 29th call with Kislyak was likely intercepted under an intelligence program not subjected to the masking rules, probably by the CIA, or a friendly foreign spy service acting in a nod and wink arrangement with our intelligence community. You know, the sharing. Hey, GCHQ, we got this great platform. No one will know. Help us out a little bit. Give it a try. Give it a run. Yeah. I give Andrew McCarthy a lot of credit, because there's a whole lot of people that don't want you to know any of this. He goes on. For 3 years, we've been led to believe that Flynn's December 29th conversation with Kislyak was intercepted because the latter was routinely monitored. Indeed, the routine surveillance storyline was repeated by the New York Times just this week. In other words, it's on the NSA thing, and it's all there through the NSA. He goes on. I no longer buy this story. If it were true, there would be a record of Flynn's unmasking. Director of National Intelligence Grinnell has represented that the list he provided to Senators Grassley and Johnson includes all requested unmaskings of Flynn from November 8, 2016 through the end of January 2017. Yet it appears that not a single listed unmasking pertains to the December 29th Kislyak call, or for that matter, the December 31st, 2016 Kislyak call with General Flynn. It was on the morning, here we go again, of January 5th, 2017, when Obama Vice President Biden and National Security Advisor Susan Rice discussed Flynn and the Trump-Russian investigation with FBI Director Comey and Acting Attorney General Sally Yates. Yet we know that participants in that meeting already knew about Flynn's identity as Kislyak's interloper. Oh. The exhibits attached to the Justice Department's motion to dismiss the Flynn case relate that Comey's deputy, Andrew McCabe, knew about it no later than January 3rd. The day he briefed Mary McCord, who ran the Justice Department's National Security Division, plus Yates, who also worked at the National Security Divisions, recalled being surprised, you heard about that before, that Obama already knew about the Flynn-Kislyak call on January 5th. Clearly, the news had been percolating at the highest levels of the Obama administration for at least a couple days, although it may not have yet made its way down to Joe Patenka, the FBI case agent on the Trump-Russia case who on January 4th signed off on a memo closing the FBI's Flynn counterintelligence investigation Crossfire Razor, which is when he was called by Strzok, who found out by these other goons that, wait a minute, don't close Razor. To summarize, the list provided by Grinnell indicates no unmasking of Flynn between December 28th, the day before the call, and January 5th, even though news of Flynn's identification was already circulating on January 3rd. He goes on. That has to mean Flynn was not unmasked in connection with the crucial December 29th call or 31st call. Why not? Well, some people said, he was just incidentally picked up. Andy McCarthy goes on, but that can't be right. After an exhaustive investigation of the FBI's abuse of FISA and the NSA platform, the Justice Department Inspector General Michael Horowitz concluded there was no evidence the FBI, quote, requested or seriously considered FISA surveillance of General Flynn, end quote. And he goes on. It is more likely then that the Flynn-Kislyak call was captured by intelligence operations that are not governed by FISA. The CIA collects intelligence not under FISA but under Executive Order 12333, and as Bill Binney and Kirk Wiebe have pointed out, that executive order has been abused to the max for years. The CIA is not governed by FISA because its intelligence operations are supposed to be conducted outside the United States. The FBI is under FISA because its foreign counterintelligence mission is principally domestic. I've argued that the Obama administration, this is Andy McCarthy, Trump-Russia probe political narrative long predated the FBI's July 2016 opening of Crossfire Hurricane. The CIA played a central role. The agency, his words, collaborated, he states, I'm tempted to say colluded, possibly, with a variety of friendly foreign intelligence services. I hypothesized then that Flynn was not unmasked with connection with the December 29th Kislyak call. Either the CIA monitored the call directly, or a friendly foreign intelligence service, whether subtly tasked and provided equipment, by U.S. intelligence or knowing that U.S. intelligence would be very interested, intercepted the call and passed it along, probably to the CIA. He concludes, but let's not miss the forest for the trees. This is not just about unmasking. It is about how pervasively the Obama administration was monitoring the Trump campaign. More than monitoring, illegally surveilling. And this is why Obama is panicked. This is why. They've been caught. The documents are unequivocal. Obama, Brennan, Clapper, Comey, McCabe, Page, Strzok, Yates, James Baker, the general counsel of the FBI, just to name a few. They're in very deep and very hot water. And this is not going away. I thank you for your time today. I hope you'll join our freedom family at DaveJanda.com. Without our subscribers, this platform, this YouTube, the YouTubes would go away, the radio show goes away, and the website goes away with all the content. 30 cents a day. Dump your cable bill, $100 a month. We'll give you everything you need to know at 30 cents a day, $9 a month. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thank you for your time today.